Kyrie Irving.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Jersey guy, love his talent. He always seems to do something every 2 years. You know,
every two is that his?
I think every 14 months, Kyrie like, I'm gonna do something. You know, it just seems like that. Probably not, but in my eye, I'm just like, what Kyrie say this time, right? But this particular time, it literally caused a firestorm.
It did. I mean, it was. So here's the thing. All right. The one thing when we have discussions about this, we have to be able to have something that is often lost, and it's called nuance. Now, I wrote a column about Kyrie for The Atlantic. Mm-hmm. A lot of our people did not appreciate it. Mm-hmm. And that is, and understand this is before any of those possible requirements came out.
Okay.
Those requirements to me were too much.
Yeah, they
and it felt ridiculous.
Yeah, they seem.
And it also felt a little retaliatory based off, we know that, Kyrie, his stance on the vaccine. And, if you're the ownership, depending on how you look at it, to some degree, you're looking at it, he cost us a season. He cost us, and I knew that would not.
And we could never get it back. And we can't,
you're right. So it felt like this was carryover. This was resentment that they had been like, okay, so we allowed you to be a part-time player. We did all this stuff, and then now here you go again, right? So that's what that reeked of to me. But I know the black people don't want to admit this, but he was wrong for tweeting that, or not tweeting, posting that link. And I watched the documentary. I just want this to be known.
Okay.
3 hours. Okay. Mm-hmm. Watch this. In the first 20 minutes, you have a reference to Willie Lynch. Willie Lynch is not real, black people. Not real. You have a quote from Henry Ford. Henry Ford, for those who do not know, yes, the automaker, that guy, one of the most well-known anti-Semites. He was such a anti-Semite that Hitler shouted him out in his book, Mein Kampf. Okay? Shouted out Henry Ford because he was a fan of his. He ran an independent newspaper in Dearborn, Michigan, which is right outside Detroit. All he did constantly was talk about and blame the Jews for literally everything. He wrote a 4-volume book about how much he couldn't stand the Jews.
Okay.
This is the quote in the movie. Again, this is just the first 20 minutes. Then there's a full screen where the header is the 6 ways in which the Jews have hid their true nature. Okay, this is a full screen. You could see it. I could pause it and show y'all. Number 5, 6 million people died in the Holocaust, which is called Holocaust denial. Now, on the bingo chart of things you cannot do, that is probably number 1 in the Jewish community.
Right.
So when people were coming at Kyrie and saying it's anti-Semitic, that's what they were talking about. Okay. Now, he never said how he felt about it, but just platforming it is dangerous.
Correct.
All right. And I understand that there are black folks who want to research their roots. I know there's a Hebrew Israelite movement. I totally understand that. There's nothing wrong with researching your roots. Nothing wrong with finding out what your origin story are. I mean, we're being in this country, a lot of us, most of us don't even know what it is. So I fully understand this idea.
Exactly.
I get it. But what should be a signal to you that maybe I got to rethink this is sometimes you got to see who's lining up next to you and who's supporting you and who's lining up behind you. A lot of the talking points that are in this documentary are the same talking points the KKK uses when it comes to talking about Jews. So if you find yourself in alignment with particular groups,
get out of there.
Get out of there. Yeah. That's not the thing. And people have to understand too. And I'll say the story for this show is that. So I reached out to Kyrie privately because I don't want people to think I think he's a bad guy. I think he's actually a really good human being.
Absolutely.
He's very charitable. He cares. He made a mistake. But before this post, I reached out to him privately because he posted a video from Alex Jones, as in the Alex Jones who just got sued for $1 billion because of the terror he caused on the families of Sandy Hook, the people whose children were killed. He ran around with this hoax and this complete fabrication that Sandy Hook wasn't real, that the children who died were paid actors. He was saying this on every platform. And he said this was the government's ploy to try to get people to, there was a government's ploy to come and take your guns. So he has been calling Sandy Hook a hoax for years. These people lost their children.
Yeah, man, that was crazy.
And that was like, if I'm one of those parents, I'm running up on Alex Jones, right?
Absolutely.
100%. And he tormented these families forever. The level of hate, intimidation, I mean, the death threats that they got, that's why the court was like, run that $1 billion.
Yeah, run it.
You cannot post anything from Alex Jones.
At all.
Nothing. And
Nothing
I was
is
like,
gonna work.
bro, I was like, I promise you, I'm just looking out. Like, that might not be the thing, because people are going to assume when you post it, you're aligned with it.
Absolutely.
And even though
I learned from that, I learned, as a guy who, I'm mostly in the comedy vein of trying to make people laugh, not trying to hurt people or, offend anybody. It really made me realize, like, I gotta know what I'm doing. Like, I gotta know. You know what I mean? I repost something and don't really pay attention and let it fly.
You right, because whatever.
Yeah, I'm responsible in a way.
You're responsible, right?
Yeah,
it's like, even whether a retweet is an endorsement, as they say.
Facts.
Okay,
especially when you got a big platform.
When you got a big platform, they're gonna hold you responsible for everything. So even though, again, like, Kyrie has made it very clear that he's on this search for knowledge. Him finding his indigenous roots, and I applaud that. Love what he's done charitably. He and I worked on a Breonna Taylor initiative that he started, where I moderated a conversation between him and Common about Breonna Taylor, because he was very aware of the fact that, her name was getting lost in the shuffle. So
right.
There's a lot of good in him.
Oh, it's a lot of wonderful things that he has done and never asked for any
no recognition.
He ain't even trying to hear that.
No.
I just want
him to be smarter about how he uses his platform.
Yeah, and any athlete, right now is Kyrie, and we love Kyrie for his talent and what he has done for the game. I think it's a teachable moment for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Everyone can learn a little something from this. We're not here to hurt people. Okay?
No, not at all.
We're not here to do that. Number two, if we do, we own it. We okay, my bad. But only problem I have with it is sometimes it's almost like they just want to put your face in and just make you put the elbow on your neck and kind of mush your face in the mess that you made and da-da-da-da.
Well, that's what I was saying about the point about nuance. Okay, There's one part of it. Yes, he was wrong. He shouldn't have done it. Then the other part, and this is where, so many well-known Black people have found themselves in this spot. I found myself in this spot as well, is that you're right. When we do make a mistake,
mm-hmm.
all right, then the mission is on to take everything, right?
Yeah.
No growth opportunity, no apology opportunity.
Take your job.
Take it all.
Take your shoes off. They take they want to strip you down like to the bone and almost not even offer you an opportunity to apologize or to get better. You know what I mean? Like, we're all human. Everybody on this planet has made a mistake before in their lives, right?